student's done?
Oh, pretty good. We were just doing it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
We didn't pay full price. It's against my religion. Alrighty, we got a new toy. A new tool to use. So it's a rigid abrasive chop saw, sometimes known as a metal cut-off saw. This actual saw is the rigid model number R4142. The floor model was pretty sturdy. I had the pleasure of using this type of chop saw for cutting metal recently, and let me tell you, we should have gotten one a long time ago. So we were previously using a sliding miter saw from Harbor Freight with an abrasive wheel on it. It was a pain in the butt, tough cutting metal, but you know, I'm not very experienced, Lauren's not very experienced with metalworking, so we're just noobs at this, learning how to do it, and figured that it was just cutting metal that was difficult. And once we got to use a saw like this, man, it was so much faster. So we're going to do a little review of this saw to let you know what we think of it from our limited perspective. You know, we're not professionals by any means, but just give you our own take on it. We purchased the saw. They're $150 brand new. Of course, being the cheapopotamus, you might yell at me, "Oh, I can't believe you bought something brand new. That's against your religion." And you're right. You're completely right. I used a 10% off coupon, and I bought some gift cards that were 7.5% off. So we got 18% off the saw. So don't yell at me too much, all right? We didn't pay full price. It's against my religion. So let's get this thing open and see what it looks like. Just a few specs about the saw. It is a 15 amp. They call it high torque motor. Sounds fancy, some good advertising gimmicks, but it's a 15 amp motor. So it's got some decent power. 120 volt, 14 inch chop saw, 3,900 RPM on the blade itself, which is, it's pretty fast, but standard for a saw, nothing special, right? It's got a clamp with it's a toolless clamp with a quick release lever. It's really nice. So it's basically a vise that you slide forward and back, and it's got a threaded bolt. Really easy to clamp stuff down and loosen up. And because of the high cut capacity, you can cut more than one piece at a time if you want. It's also got the ability to adjust the fence so you get different angles on your cuts, which is really nice. We'll be using that. And it says that it has a 4.5 inch by 6.5 inch cutting capacity rectangle, 5.5 inches, 5 inches round cut. So if you're cutting square versus circular, you get a 5 inch round circular cut and 4.5 inch by 6.5 inch rectangle. Nice big spark guard on it, which is really nice. We didn't have that on the Harbor Freight machine, so having that spark guard will come in handy. All the other little, little knickknacks, tool-free adjustment, yada yada, they all come with it these days. They're all going to advertise it. Great, toolless adjustment, whatever. When they give me a machine for 150 bucks that cuts metal by itself, I'll be impressed. Look at that thing. It's a beaut. Look at it. Let's just hope it works. Alright? I hate when something looks nice and doesn't work well. So you got the little chain here. Put the saw down. They've got a blade already attached on it. This is the little toolless adjustment here. You got the fence here and you got the vice clamp here. What they mean by quick release vice clamp is they've got a little lever here. So if you pull back on it while that lever's in, you can't pull on it, but all you have to do is lift it up. Easy enough, right? Once you push it down, can't pull back. You can push forward as fast as you want, but you can't pull back. It locks in place. You can rotate it back if you need to, but that takes forever. Who wants to do that? So instead you flip it up, pull it back, boom, easy. Someone was thinking, which is nice. So what you can do is you put your piece of metal in there you're going to be cutting, lift up the latch, or just push it in and tighten it down, and then make your final adjustment with the handle, and now this piece of metal is locked in place here. So you can go ahead and make your cut. Bada bing, bada boom. Not too much to it. Then you're all done, so you can loosen it up a little bit, pull the lever up, pull out. Easy. Pull your piece of metal and you're done. We've got the toolless fence adjustment here. So what they mean by toolless fence adjustment is you can make your angle cuts, your miter cuts, whatever you want to call them, you can make them on this saw, and to adjust it, you just loosen up the little lever here and then you tighten it down, and now it's more or less locked in place. So might be able to move a little bit, we'll have to play with that. But that's your toolless adjustment. So you quick release, quick lockdown. Once again, you put your metal in place, slide this forward, and then boom, you have it locked down. Not too much to it, they made it simple. So I expect cutting on this to be pretty easy. It'll help me out, make my life simple and easy to transport. Overall, it's a pretty light tool. Nice big guard, big blade here, big handle. All in all, really excited about my purchase with this. So we'll see if it really ends up being all that I expect it to, and we'll show you some cuts on this pretty soon. Lift it up, pretty simple by the handle up top for transport. It's got nice rubber feet, which should help isolate it a little bit, keep it from excessive vibration. A spark guard in the back. Yeah, what can I say? It also has Rigid's lifetime service warranty. I haven't had to use it yet on a Rigid tool. I hope the day that I do, that they make me very happy, because that is part of why I like to buy their tools. And if they suck at that point, well, maybe I'll find a new tool. But for now, Rigid has the best warranty compared to any other product, so part of the reason I go with them. So we'll show you how this cuts through a little metal. Alright, so we're making our first cuts with the metal chop saw, and it's going really well, getting through pretty quickly. Thankfully I have my trusted supervisor here making sure I don't cut myself, making sure I go extra slow. Thank you. You're welcome. But the actual saw is working great. We're doing 2 pieces at a time. This metal is only 0.60 thick, so we're not doing any crazy thickness here, so obviously it's going to handle it pretty well. But really excited about the fact that we can do 2 pieces at a time. We could do more if we wanted to, but we only need 2 at a time, so it's making this whole process go a whole lot faster. The quick release vise, super handy. I haven't really had to use any of the other features thus far, but really the saw is performing exactly as expected, and we'll show you a quick cut right now to show you how little force it's taken me and how well it's going through the material. So let's go ahead and do this one. So you can see how straightforward that is. Everything, obviously, it went through the metal just fine. The big thing to keep in mind, a lot of people get these abrasive cut-off saws and they think they're cutting through wood, and you're cutting through metal. It's not going to be as simple as it is going through wood. You're not going to cut it like you do a 2x4, where you take a chop saw and just plop it down and it goes straight through. Cutting through metal takes a little bit more time. You saw that I was able to just use one hand and put enough pressure on it, listen to the saw and hear how hard the motor's having to work to get through the material, and just take it nice and easy. There's no point in trying to destroy the new tool you just bought blazing through some metal. So you take it slow, know what to expect out of it, and it'll get through the metal that you need it to get through. So really happy so far. So glad we got this, and should have got it a long time ago with all the metal we've been cutting. So yeah, we'll update you with any new findings that we have with this if anything ends up going wrong, but I don't expect it to. All the other features on this saw are just very basic features, so not much can go wrong. But I'll let you know if anything does. Hope you enjoyed the review, and check back for some of our other tool reviews or our bus conversion project and the related videos for that to see the progress.